segment. Guys that were higher on than the regular industry, the ECR. And the first name I have on this list is Tyler Lockett. Where both would take him at least a full round, if not higher than his average draft position right now. What has you so high on Tyler Lockett?
Yeah, so I just got trashed on Twitter for apparently being an anti-regression guy, which like isn't really true. But so I had this article where I talked about how Tyler Lockett just had arguably the most efficient season by a wide receiver ever, not just fantasy, but in terms of, yards per target, wide receiver rating, fantasy points per target, like arguably the greatest season ever. Yeah. Where does he decline? He's going to regress. How does he regress? What numbers should we predict? I said probably, based on a historical sample, it should be 39%, let's say. But we know Russell Wilson's slot wide receiver one, his wide receiver one is almost always one of the most efficient wide receivers in the league, so you have to factor that in. And okay, he's due for an efficiency regression, but he should theoretically see an uptick in volume. Maybe it's not going to be a massive volume because Doug Baldwin never saw massive volume, but Doug Baldwin's no longer there. So even if it's just Doug Baldwin volume, you should see enough volume to, make that efficiency regression not as significant. Absolutely. And he's good. So basically just add all that in together, and he should not be going where he's going. And he is legitimate low-end wide receiver one upside at a, late wide receiver two price tag.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm fully with you. And again, that 96 stat article I remember reading them, and I had already seen some efficiency metrics, but then when you add in Pro Football Focus's ratings and all that too, it's just insane what this guy did on such few targets. They have to go up 57th in targets last year. There's no way they don't go up in 2019 with Doug Baldwin gone. And I saw a report I really liked that's kind of going under the radar for whatever reason, was one of their beat writers said, in 11 years of covering this team, I've never seen the Seahawks ever make this concerted of an effort to get a guy the ball in different ways. He's going in the backfield, He's moving into the slot, he's moving all over the place, and they've just been, peppering him. So if obviously the regression will happen in efficiency if he gets that much volume, but you got to think those things balance, if not, flip the other way with the volume increase. So yeah, that when I read that report, I was already all in, but then the fact that they are actually like genuinely making that effort makes me all the more excited. Plus the defense has to be worse this year, right? They've lost tons of pieces. They become a little more pass happy. And what was the stat? You had one on Russell Wilson about how, is it the best ever points per drop back or something like that? I forget exactly what the stat was.
Since entering the league, he ranks first in fantasy points per drop back, but he ranks fifth in fantasy points per game. If he was just average in dropbacks per game instead of dead last, he'd rank first in fantasy points per game by a significant margin.
Unbelievable.
Just volume and pace in Seattle is so bad. Also, I got to bump up Tyler Lockett even more now. You got to send me that link.
I got to figure out where I saw that. I'll find the tweet. I have it in an article somewhere, so I'll make sure to send you that. I was thrilled to read that report. Absolutely. And then, yes, if the defense does take a hit, even if Schottenheimer is so committed to the run as he keeps talking about, you can only be committed to the run so often. And I love the air raid offense coming in Arizona, so maybe that becomes more of a shootout style game, whereas they were only putting up 14 points per game. I wouldn't be shocked to see that double this year if Kingsbury's offense clicks like I think it will. So that division I see becoming a little more shootouty. I don't know. I'm just in the Seahawks passing game, and I love Carson too, but Tyler Lockett being the engine of that, I'm with you. He's definitely one of my highest rated guys.